536, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time for the gang of three amigos. Brought to you by our friends at My Patriot Supply. Good morning, Ken Weaver.
Good morning, boys. Yeah.
Good morning, Johnny B.
Good morning.
Everyone's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I forgot to ask this yesterday. Did anybody see any of those geostorm lights?
Nope. I missed them.
The only northern lights I saw were coming from oncoming traffic. That's the only lights I saw.
I didn't either. We actually, when I say we, I mean Amy, went out at 4 o'clock in the morning to see if she could find any geostorm lights.
Mm-hmm.
Riker was especially passionate about it. And so he woke up poor Amy, I think, a couple of times throughout the night looking for the northern. Now, what he's doing up so late is beyond me. Haven't really, delved into that. But he was waking up Amy like all over the weekend, all through the weekend.
Yeah.
Mommy, can we go see if we can find the northern lights? And so they're out in the middle of the street looking for the northern lights. And it's like, nope, can't see a thing, going back to bed.
Well, it's always fun to wake the parents up. I remember waking my parents up. I was listening to the radio too late. I was all of maybe 8 years old. And they announced on KLEO radio, the Monkees were coming to Wichita.
Oh, very exciting.
And man, I jumped out of bed and started, woke mom and dad up. That went over big.
Yeah. I bet it sure did.
The Monkees are coming.
And all Dad said was, I don't care about the GD Monkees.
But Dad, it's the Monkees.
The Monkees are coming here, man.
I seem to recall waking my parents up a few times, Christmas morning mainly, and I did have the unfortunate time when I was very young of walking in on some marital relations.
Only you, man.
That scarred me for life, man. Do you know what's so weird?
Oh, my gosh.
And I don't mean to go weird, but apparently that's where I'm going to go.
Well, buddy, you're in it now.
That image, I don't know why it is. Our brain plays tricks on us. So I can't remember yesterday, but I can remember that image of walking into that room.
Well, see, my sister, my oldest sister, said she happened to walk in to our parents' bedroom and said Mom was doing a striptease. And she cannot. And I told her, I said, I wish you hadn't told me that story because now I have a mental image and it really bothers me.
Man.
There you go.
Boy, I thank my lucky stars I never saw anything like that.
And, I said to Mom this was like one of the last conversations that we had because we're reminiscing, when I went out to California. And I said to Mom, you couldn't have locked the door?
Oh.
You got like two kids. One is like 7 or 8, and the other one is like 9. And you couldn't lock the door? Well, honey, I told your dad to lock the door, and he didn't lock the door. It's like, well, your job as the woman is to make sure that the husband does what he's supposed to do. That's the way it works in my marriage.
Dan, that's right, woman.
You know what Mom said? Well, that's why I divorced him. He didn't do what I told him to do. So there you go.
Oh, man.
Moving right along. Memories of my mother.
Oh, man.
Dan, I've never heard you tell that story before.
No, we have not.
Well, I'm sure that never happened to you guys. I mean,
no.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Well, I really can't tell the story, but I remember walking in on my dad doing something. And, I take that back. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I was supposed to be staying overnight somewhere. Well, I went out with this girl, and it was a little bit later that we got done with our date than I,
Yeah.
should have been. I was supposed to be staying at some friend's house. When I went to the friend's house, of course, it was locked up tight, so I had to go home. Well, Dad thought I wouldn't be home, and this was after my mother passed away, and Dad had a girlfriend there, but I thought Dad was going to be out of town. That's the whole reason I was supposed to stay with some friends.
Yeah.
I went, oh, Dad's car's here. So I start trying to open doors. Well, everything's chained up except for his bedroom door. And so I opened the door, and there's Dad. The TV's on, and he's got his girlfriend in there. And then they come into my room trying to act, hey, John, how you doing? Hey, we were just watching TV.
We're just wrestling.
Hey,
That's all we were doing.
hey, sport, what kind of day you having?
It's like, Dad, I'm 16 years old now.
Yeah.
I'm not 8.
I was about 16 or 17. Then I'm going to move on. But 16, 17 years old. And I was out on a date. And, we came back to my house. We had to change cars, whatever. But, me and the girl, I think her name was Wendy. We started, doing what 16-year-olds do in a car.
What's that?
Yeah, Dan.
We was necking.
Oh. I
Yeah.
was going to say Bible study.
Well, that was after my mom caught us necking.
Giving each other some sugar.
Yeah. Baby.
So, she and I are having fun, My mother, this is what she did. So she comes out. We live in this little condo. And so she comes out. She notices that we pulled in, but I didn't come into the house. And so my mom comes out just as I'm getting to like second base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hands are flying, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
My mother knocks on the window door and said, "You guys okay?" It was dark. "You guys okay in there?" And it was like, hands back down to my sides and just trying to just get back to. She says, "Well, you guys pulled." I said, "Mom, what?" I think that's actually what I did. My voice went up. "What?" I said, "Well, you pulled in like 30 minutes ago. What are you doing out here?" And I'm like, "Clearly nothing now." And so the girl left and I never saw her again.
Boy, there's my girlfriend and I, who she turned out to be my first wife. We were going parking on a secluded road outside of Wichita.
Yeah.
Beautiful Andover, Kansas. And as we're going down this road, all of a sudden, we see this truck, and it's we can see her mother in it. And it's this married man she was seeing. They had gone down the same road.
Oh, no.
Of course, that night didn't end well for me.
No.
Oh, my God, what's my mother doing?
So it was a well-known lover's lane.
Well, apparently it was. We just went down it because there was it was one of those, Kansas is notorious, or it was. I don't know if it still is. But it was notorious for having roads, just nothing, nowhere.
Yeah.
Just cornfields.
Yeah, that's pretty
Wheat
much
fields.
Kansas. it
So, yeah, it was a deserted road, and all of a sudden we see this truck, and my headlights hit. When my headlights hit, she could see her mother.
Oh, my God. That is so funny. Watch and learn, Sonny. All right. We done with all this?
Yeah, I think so.
You all right over there, Ken?
Oh, my gosh. Man, Dan. Dude, every time you tell a story
Yes.
about when you're a kid, I picture you as a kid, but you've got your head now.
Yeah, it's like every time you tell us a story, Ken and I have said this, we don't picture you young, we just picture you as you are now. It makes the story even funnier.
But see, that's what made me what I am now. Is all the weirdness when I was a kid.
Well, you know what I think about it, Dan? You and I had very strange childhood.
You guys did, man. I had a very, very protected youth.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Who hasn't lived until you walked in on your parents?
Dude, I'm telling you, I am.
Or your dad gives you a Playboy subscription when you're 13. And your mother and her sister are horrified, and
when you walked in, Dan, did you swing the door wide open?
I did.
And did everything just immediately freeze?
Yes. So here, oh gosh, we were going to do this. So I remember this. I open the door. Now the hallway light is on. So immediately the light shines right there. And
there was
I remember,
a full moon, right?
It sure was. And I remember my dad jumping off the bed and, diving behind the bed so that I, of course, don't see what I clearly saw. Oh. And I then ran off to the couch and started crying.
Traumatized you were.
Listen, I am 56 years old. This is like 50 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know what the heck they were doing. And so then my mom went through this whole thing of, when a mommy and a daddy love each other and all this kind of stuff. My dad is still horrified. He stays in the bedroom.
I'm telling you, man.
And then mom comes out in her, I remember this, she had this yellow,
gosh.
It was like a robe kind of a thing. It wasn't a nightie or anything like that.
Right.
And she went through the whole thing, and my brother is over in the kitchen smirking and laughing because he knows exactly what happened. Anyway. Yep.
Oh, man.
That was my upbringing. It's a wonder I'm so normal now. Hey, Yellowstone, there's going to be a spin-off. This is very exciting.
Hey,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't think Yellowstone was still on. I've been looking for it for a while.
Yellowstone star Cole Hauser.
Rip.
Yeah.
Rip Wheeler.
I like
hints
old
at a
Rip.
possible spin-off after the Costner-led show wraps. They're talking about Rip and Kelly Riley's Beth Dutton could appear in a spin-off series.
That'd be
okay.
That might be cool.
So you've
That
got
could be.
Beth Dutton and
Rip Wheeler.
Rip Wheeler.
I like both of those characters.
He's the bearded one, right?
Yeah, he's the big bearded
He's the
guy.
one who whips everybody's ass.
Yeah, and he also is the one that disposes of troublemakers.
Yeah, takes him to the train station.
And they never come back.
I think I watched.
Except for that one old boy.
Yeah, that one old boy, but that was thanks to that was thanks to the boy.
Yeah.
I think I watched about the first 3 or 4 episodes of Yellowstone, and the body count was like 12.
Oh yeah, it just
So I mean, it was
racks
just
up.
like, good Lord, man, is that all this thing is horses and dead bodies?
pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy, what are we going to do?
And really
We're going to kill him, son.
and pissed off Indians.
And pissed off Indians. That's right.
Oh, man. So Rip Wheeler and Beth Dutton.
Yep.
I wonder if, I wish they would, go back to whenever they were teenagers.
To find out why they are the way that they are.
Well, I mean, we know why Rip is the way he is. I mean, I don't want to ruin this for everybody, but he saw his mother abused and basically his brother and his mother murdered.
Oh.
So that's why Rip is the way he is.
And I thought my childhood experience was horrifying.
No, his was much worse.
And they went back some with why Beth is so angry, too. So I guess we can't do a backstory on that.
No, it's already been done.
But I mean, I don't know. There's so much about Rip Wheeler's character. I would just like to explore that further.
Well, let me ask you this. So you have Yellowstone, but then didn't you have 1810 or something like that?
1883.
Yeah.
1883. So
Yeah.
you had a prequel there.
And then you had a prequel of that one.
Yeah.
Which we're still waiting on the prequel with the one Dutton kid who went off to Africa, but he's on his way back because the Dutton's farm is under attack by a bunch of sheep herders.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of lost.
That's
Oh, that one's a good one, dude. When this dude gets back, there's going to be hell to pay.
okay.
Well, see, I need to watch that one because I just it became like overdose. It was like, okay, I like Yellowstone. and
Well,
I liked 1883.
You're right, Johnny. It's like there's so much. And the thing about Yellowstone, I think if I remember right, was the same thing in trying to get through Game of Thrones. It's like if they're an hour long, it is really difficult to get through all of those seasons because it just takes so long. So
Well, yeah, and I think Yellowstone was like about an hour and a half almost.
So when I retire, I've got all of these shows that I just want to spend my time watching.
Boy, that's a hell of a man right there.
I want to see.
Hold on, John. We have to put some context into that, Johnny. Johnny
Well,
just said there's a hell of a man in the hallway.
Well, I mean, he's a big bear fella.
I looked to my left, and
Is that Ramon?
is big old Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon is a big man.
4-time Pro Bowl offensive lineman.
I wouldn't want to make him mad.
What's his last name? Ramon? Foster. Yeah, so he works on the sports station.
Yeah.
We all of us love each other for the most part. All the different stations, we all just
Sure.
we really like
It's
each
big
other.
one love fest up here,
Yeah. What is so funny?
especially when we get noisy.
Oh,
all
you
love
know
one
what?
another.
There's the one guy. Don't say.
Yeah, there's
the
one
one
guy.
that we just don't like, and he doesn't. I think he clearly doesn't like me, which is fine. But we all like Ramon.
Oh yeah,
And-
Ramon's a lovely person.
Do you know how many times I've been crossing a corner, turning a corner, and I like almost run into Ramon, and it's like running into a brick wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even at his age, whatever it is.
And he's lost, and he's lost a bunch of weight. He's
Yeah,
in
he
great
has.
shape,
Oh yeah, he's
and he's still huge.
And he's always smiling, man. I've never seen a guy more up.
Yeah.
Here's what I love about Ramon, and then we got to move on.
Okay.
All right.
Here's a guy that if there's anyone in this building that should have an arrogant ego about him,
Yes,
it would be Ramon.
I would agree.
Nothing. He is like the greatest dude ever. Outside of you two.
Thank you, man.
Well, thank you, Brother Dan Mandis.
You guys want to return the compliment, or you
Yes.
just want to let that lay?
Because you don't walk around with a huge ego.
No.
You don't-
Well,
you
no.
don't.
All I'm saying, you could have said, yeah, he's great, but he's no Dan Mandis. You could have said that. You didn't, though.
Well, I tell you, Ramon is great, but he's no Dan Mandis.
No, he's not.
You know what? If I have to prompt it, doesn't count.
I bet he doesn't have great childhood stories like you.
It's like when you tell somebody you love them, and then you have to say, well, are you going to say it back?
I bet you can't make a cup of coffee like Brother Dan Mandis can.
You know,
Yeah.
don't you love it when you tell your significant other, "I love you," and they come back and go, "I know."
The greatest line in Star Wars when Princess Leia tells Han Solo, "I love you," and he says, "I know,"
Yes.
as opposed to "I love you back."
And you know what? He ad-libbed that.
Yep. Look at you, Ken. You know the Star Wars trivia.
I do.
All right, very good. We got to go. 5:54.
Okay,
Nash. What'd you say?
I said, "Okay, then."
Oh, okay. Okay then.
All right.
5:54. Nashville's
well.
Morning News. I'm very willing myself.